Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering Stage 8 of Finnish Brutality 2020, One-Handedness. And unfortunately, this is the last stage. It's like all good things, they come to an end, and this one you didn't want to. This was a great stage. It was pistol only. It was the third appearance of the kettlebell. So they really upped the brutality. Usually, as I said earlier, you see a kettlebell in a brutality match once, you deal with it, and then you go on. It's like, no, you had to deal with the kettlebell 3 times in this match, which made for an interesting challenge. But this stage was really awesome. You started out in the first bay, and the rules were simple. If you had a popper, you had to knock it down. If you had a static target, you had to get 2 hits on it. Easy enough, right? You had to go through the run the first way through all the bays, strong hand only, kettlebell in your weak hand. Once you got to the third bay and you had dispatched all the poppers and gotten your 2 hits on the static target, you then switched hands, weak hand only, holding the kettlebell, then you got 2 hits on that static, moved back to the middle bay, 2 hits on that static, and then finally back to the bay you started in, 2 hits on that static. I can say right now, one of the things that was awesome about this stage is I'm going to incorporate this into my training. This is straight up good stuff. No one practices one-handed shooting as often as they should, and definitely no one practices their weak hand shooting as much as they should. This forced you to do it, and by having that heavy-ass kettlebell in your other hand, it really forced you to apply the fundamentals and think it through. Another thing I did on this stage is, by the time of the 8th stage, I've been gimping around because of my pulled hamstring and everything. I knew I was in no contention for winning this thing, and I decided I wanted to get the training value out of it. So I talked to the ROs, who were very sympathetic and actually excited about the prospect. As I said, when the reloads came, you were allowed to put the kettlebell down to manipulate your pistol whenever you had to, but when you were firing, it had to be in your hand, and you had to be one-handed only. So a lot of competitors had been putting the kettlebell down, doing their reload, and then picking it back up and firing. It's like once I got that thing up, because I had lifted it the other days, I think I didn't want to put it down unless I absolutely had to. So I asked if I could do a one-handed reload. And they actually discussed it for a while, checked the rules and everything. There was like saying, no reason you can't. And they encouraged me to go forth and do it. As you'll see in my run, I do it. Did it save me any time? No, it didn't save any time whatsoever. But what it did is make it a little easier for me, because bending down was putting pressure on my ham, and it just was excruciating, and it just not having to do that was worth it. My second reload, I did set the kettlebell down, but that was just an effective timing, because as I fired the last shot that I was required strong hand, the slide lock back, I needed to reload and switch hands anyway. So at that point, the kettlebell had to go down, and it did. Reloaded, conventional reload, switched hands, picked the kettle back up with the strong hand, and then engaged target. It immediately had a stovepipe type malfunction. Now I hesitated for a second, and I thought about, do the whole thing, rack it on your belt and everything. But I hadn't cleared that with the ROs, and I could see from their point of view how that might be considered a DQable event, and I didn't want that more than anything. So I went back down, quickly cleared the malfunction, and got back into the match. Got my hits, moved to the middle bay, got a hit, a few shots, got another hit. On the final bay, got my hit, missed twice, then got my hit to end it with 2 rounds to spare. So this was a tough stage. But it was a really good stage, and every time I started missing and I just got the mental thing adjusted and said, apply the fundamentals, think about your stuff, clear front sight post, boom, then the hit would come. Then the excitement of, I gotta move, I gotta do something, and then you'd have to remember to recock and do that stuff. But in my training, I'm gonna incorporate pretty much this stage into my training going forth, because this was just solid, good stuff. Go ahead and take a look at my run. As I'm strong hand only in the second bay, pay attention to the one-hand reload. And then when my run's done, go ahead and check out what Zach did, because he did pretty dang good on this stage too, as he did on most stages.
All right. Shooter ready.
Ready.
Stand by. Flip it to the right. Flip it more to the right. Good. Right. Right. Good. Right. Hit. Hit. Good. Good. Flip it to the left and down. Good. Solid. Up. Shoot again. Pop that fucker.
Die, motherfucker.
Good man.
Nice job, Les! Good job!
That's good. Let's never quit. Solid shit, man. Hit! Hit! Yeah! Flip it to the right and down. Good. Flip it to the left. Yeah. Down to the left. Good. Up. Yeah. Down. Down. Yeah. Hit. Hit. Yeah. Left. Left. Hit. Hit. Yeah. Good. Come on, let's go. You're doing good. Hit. Up and to the left. To the left and up. Hit. Good. You still got time. You got it. Good. Two more hits. Good. Hit. To the right. To the left a little bit. Hit. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah. If you finish, show clear. Yeah, holster. Time 168.68.
Good job. Thank you.
So post-shooting interview, post-stage
Go,
interview.
lads. That was good.
2 rounds
Solid.
left.
So how did it go?
Well, I made it and I didn't par out.
Yeah, you did a slightly different mag change than the other guys. How do you think that was compared to?
I don't know if it saved me any time, but it's smooth and it worked.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Well, that's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really smooth. Good job.
Thanks, man.
Shooter ready. Stand by. Hit! Hit! Nice!
How's that go?
Nice! Good job! Good job!
Go, 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 go!
Change hands.
Two hits with a different time. Oh! Hit! Got to Zach. Nice job.
Go, Zach. Go, go, go.
Don't pull him over. Hit. Hit. 2 more. Hit. Hit. If you're finished, unload and show clear. Hammer down and holster. Awesome job!
And there you have it. As that stage completed, Finnish Brutality ended for me and each competitor that was finishing up. It's a melancholy feeling. It was a really good match. I'm really bummed that my hamstring had been pulled because that was just a physical factor that limited what I could do. My performance would have been better. I mean, I ended up 86th. I think I would have been, you know, several dozens of positions better had I been able to maneuver properly. The fogging prevented a challenge, but that's a real world thing. You know, you got to wear goggles or gas masks in the real world, and a lot of times, you know, you don't get to pick the conditions you have to wear them in. So the fact that it was a problem at the match sucked, but, you know, it just added to the brutality factor. There was an adventure at this one. There always is. Ever since brutality matches have started, my getting there or participating, it was always involved some adventure. This one was created by COVID-19. It was literally getting down to the wire to get there, as if we were going to make it or not. You know, right up to the point I'm standing at the gate at the airport waiting to get on the plane and having my documents checked and having to explain what they mean. You know, until I had my seat on the plane, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get there and make it in. I'm glad that I did. I don't recommend anybody doing this if they have an injury. And I would like to give the ultimate thank you to Varosteleka because on the first day, before the first shot's fired, I'm limping around. They had every right to say, have a seat, enjoy the show. Sorry about your bad luck. And they didn't. They let me try. And they get the ultimate props for that. Brutality style matches are great training. A lot of times as we go through our shooting lives, you know, we go to classes, we learn new things, and the opportunity to apply them in a stressful environment is not that frequent. The brutality matches give you the opportunity to do that. As you've seen by the stages that have been presented here, a lot of them have real world style scenarios built around them. They have real-world props. They have trenches you can go and fight from. They have armored vehicles. They have regular vehicles. You know, you're moving ammo cans. You're doing tasks that you're going to have to do in a fighting situation. If you ever get the chance to go to one of these events, I highly encourage everyone to do so. I hope everybody enjoyed this series. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And tune in for future videos because we're still going to do some stuff about the gear that I used and the process it took to get the firearms that I used from the United States to Finland.